up, y'all? It's me, Erica, and we are down here. Peace, y'all. Take care of each other. Protect your energy. What's up, y'all? It's me, Erica. We are down here. We are down here to talk about Beverly Hills Reunion Part 2, which was a snooze fest. The episode was only 25 minutes, y'all. I was like, girl, what is this? Normally the episodes are like 44 minutes, right? How did they stick 25? What kind of advertisers did they have when the show actually broadcasted? Because the actual show, no commercials, was 25 minutes. Like, what? That, I'm like, okay. So they didn't really say much to Crystal. They said a little bit to Crystal, a little bit to Lisa Rinna. Lisa Rinna doesn't have a storyline. Erica has the storyline, and the beef between Erica and Sutton, the issues between Dorit and Garcelle, those are the storylines. Lisa Rinna, she has nothing. I was like, dang, Lisa Rinna, you don't have nothing to talk about. They don't have nothing to talk to you about. How y'all doing today? I hope everybody's doing well. Go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment. Let the diva know you stopped by. Did I already say that? Child, I don't know. I do not know. I was like, okay. So I tried to take notes as fast as I can. I watched it this morning. I tried to watch it last night, and I fell immediately to sleep. So it was a wrap. I had drank some, valerian root tea. And so, that's in that, baby. When I tell you that knocks you the hell out. So I went right to sleep. So this morning I got up, I watched it while I was getting ready, and then I watched it trying to take notes. So I actually watched it twice this morning. So hopefully I got a good amount of notes that we could talk about, because it wasn't really, it was like a filler. It was like mostly answering questions, Erica answering questions. They asked Erica, why did you hide a broken marriage? She says because she went far to protect him, because people have their marriages have things that go on in them or whatever. Why didn't you leave sooner? She said she was not in control of the money. And then Andy was like, where were you? Is that why you stayed? And then everybody is like, she said, you're trying to make it a narrative that I stayed for the money. So, but then, they all kind of chimed in and was like, there's some wives who can't leave because they don't have access to the money. The money is given to them. I don't know if anybody is listening to the men in digital spaces talk, but they want relationships that mimic traditional relationships, right? And in old-fashioned traditional relationships, the man is in control of the money, which kind of leaves the woman in, at bay, hostage. I don't understand why. I know that men want to control women, but I don't understand, why do you want to be in control of an adult? Why do you want to be in control of anything to that extent that somebody has to completely depend on you? You don't want them with education. You want them to look a certain way and to stay looking that way. You don't want you don't want them accomplished in any way. You just want this kind of like a person that you can have control over, to me, I feel like a lot of these guys, I can't wait until the technology gets so far in advance that these men can afford robots, the dolls that do whatever you want, from AI, not AI, yeah, like an AI, or what is that, iRobot, whatever the hell. What was that show that came on? I think it was on FX, called Humans. But it was you had a servant that was a AI. Even in that video game, I have a video game called I can't remember. It's the one with Jesse Williams. that girl and the girl that he was cheating on with. Detroit Beyond Human or something like that. It's a video game that I have. I've played it, but it's like the people have these AI machines and they of course look real, and it's like they abuse the machines. They beat the machines up. They're like abusive, and they want to be able to do these things to the machines, and it's so weird. And like when I listen to men have conversations about what they want, I want a traditional household. That is what traditional looks like. Traditional looks like you not having the right to vote, you not having rights to education. That's what traditional looks like. And it's so crazy when I listen to women say I want to be traditional. I want a traditional. This idea where you want a man to solely just protect and provide, that model, it comes from a very traditional, very diminishing space for women in time. And I don't know why any woman would even put herself in a position to be like, I want to be in a traditional marriage. What's wrong with you? Are you crazy? There's no way. And that's why so many women get education. I know I'm off on a tangent, but that's why so many women, they go get an education. They try to get in corporate America. They try to get in a space where they do not have to depend on men, because after a while, for something may happen where now they become violent with the finances. They start saying you can't do this and you can't do that. Why, in the age where you are plugging a fucking car into a goddamn electrical socket, would you ever put your fucking body in a position to be controlled by another human being? It makes no sense to me. None. So when you start talking about, oh, I want a man to protect and provide, I want a traditional da 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 da, you better be ready for what you're asking for. Because what traditional means taking away a lot of your autonomy. And you don't want that. So stop saying, oh, I want tradition, I want traditional. Look at Erica Jane. Although I don't believe a lot of what she was saying, I really don't. I don't believe you did not have access to money. I don't believe that you handed your paychecks over to your husband. I don't believe that. I just don't believe that. And I'm not playing games with these housewives anymore. I'm not playing these games. I'm not doing it anymore. Hold on, let me fix my hair. Yeah, I'm not playing these games with Erica. I don't believe you gave your checks to Tom Girardi. Girl, shut the fuck up. I don't believe that. I do not believe that. Just like I don't believe you didn't know how to make a deposit when you were a single mother in the fucking 90s or the 80s or whatever the hell, when they had ATM cards. Remember they used to be called ATM? Automated teller machine. Yes. When they got, and the people thought they were going to get rid of the bankers, the tellers. ATM machines. Yes. Remember that? You didn't know how to go into it. You didn't know how to make a deposit, Erica, and you was a single mother before. You was 27 years old and you didn't know how to make a deposit. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I was 27, he was 60. There was a power balance. And we're over here on the internet yesterday talking about a 61-year-old man with an 18-year-old. And look at this. He's 60 and 27. And look at she said it, a power balance. Imbalance. It's to control you. I don't understand why that looks attractive to anyone. There's nothing attractive about not being in control of yourself. That is not, I just don't understand that. Kept at the what? Kept at the fair, no access to money. Entitled to half of his assets and debt. Are you entitled to half? Apparently I'm entitled to his debt, half of his debt too. Did you know that it was a sinking ship? She said, well, she felt like when she started getting named in lawsuits, that's when she was just like, okay, something's not right, I guess, or whatever. She says he would shoot down everything. He was angry. He never answered her question. She didn't answer her questions. I don't understand that. I would have asked, like, so what did he say when you said he said nothing? What did he say? What were the words that came out of his mouth? Can we get a replay of some dialogue? I don't believe Erica Jane. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I believe she's literally mixing truth and lies. And that she and it always goes back to Sutton's point. You're not telling us 100% of the truth. And so you can't get mad because we're not believing your lie. Girl, what? You're mad at me because I'm not believing the lies that you're telling me? No. It don't work like that, sis. At all. At all. There's a wall of people around him. I called lawyers I knew. Okay, so why you mad at Sutton calling lawyers she knew? Like, girl, like that's the part. It's like you're unreasonable and you make no sense. You're snarling at. I can't wait till they get into that. Because, girl, you said it yourself. You called lawyers. So why wouldn't people who are not close to you try to figure out do I need to protect myself? Like, what the F is going on? Because I can't play with Erica Girardi and Tom Girardi down here taking people's money. I can't play with that. So why is it taking so long to get a divorce? We need to do a competency hearing. Okay. She said it was 3 women, and there was 1 woman before she left, the day that she left, and he has a flip phone. Why does he have a flip phone in 2020? You know why he has a flip phone in 2020. We all know why he has a flip phone in 2020. He's a shady businessman trying to stay off the grid, thinking that nobody can hear your flip phone conversations. Stupid. You ain't that damn old and confused. I guess he needed an old. Maybe he was because I forgot. He's old as hell. 80 years old. Maybe he's like, look, I need the phone where I could press 222 to get to C, and then to get to F. Remember, y'all, you used to press 333, and then you have to go down to the 0, so you could you had to go down to the star to do the space. That's how you had to do the space, Erica. She said she sent some woman a message talk about nice tits, stupid bitch, but she couldn't find the space key, so it was a run-on sentence. That, even the way, the way that she was talking in that moment, it was like you could hear. I don't know. Erica Jane is a trip. Kyle said she heard things about Tom. She could feel that Tom wasn't kind to her, and they heard tons of rumors. Everybody hears rumors. And then they were like, well, why did you post that Instagram, the text messages? She said because she was tired of people saying that she had something to do with it. And so she wanted to be like, no, this is what's really going on, right? So she was really mad. So then they also said that when someone clicked on the auction link for the things in the office, that in Tom's drawer, there was a lingerie set. And I was like, what? That's crazy. And Erica said it wasn't for her. She said that was not mine. I don't know whose it was. It was obviously for Valentine's Day, because if you look at the receipt, it was in January. And I was like, ugh. And it's like, the crazy part is, they know that they would not have access to the women. Like, who is messing with Tom Girardi? Like, literally, but somebody who wants to get to the money. That's it. There's nothing, a man whose memory is regressing. He can't remember shit. He telling old stories about John fucking Wayne, who was probably dead before all of us were born, okay? You know what I'm saying? You talk about John Wayne. That's what Erica said. He's in a loop, and they just tell the same stories. They tell the stories that they can remember, and he's a master entertainer and a master performer. Like you, girl. That's what I was like you, girl. So, how to close out your life. She said she couldn't answer that. She couldn't answer, like, if you didn't have access to stuff, how were you able to get out of this marriage, right? If you were that trapped where you couldn't leave because you didn't have access to money, how were you able to do all the things that you were able to do to get out of the marriage, right? You're like enemy, well, not enemy of the state, sleeping with an enemy. Remember all the things she had to do to fake her death to try to leave? Remember? How did you leave? You didn't have nothing? You didn't have access? So she said she couldn't answer that. She couldn't answer that. Somebody helped her, obviously. Old stories. He's on a loop. Same stories. Yes. She said that Kyle's friend said that she saw signs of vacancy. She saw the vacancy sign in the window. There's no beds. There's no beds here. Tom is a master entertainer and a master performer, honey. Why did you split with him when he got Alzheimer's? Did you just leave? And she said, I did everything right by him. And then she was like, I'm not angry, but I'm angry. Like, okay, girl, like, what are you angry? That's what everybody's like. I think everybody really wants her to be upset about, you know, what he did. So she finally said something like, she said that at one time a doctor told her they didn't want to see about him or treat him because they didn't want to get sued by him. And people are scared of him. Is she going to write a book? Does Erica Jane already have a book? Oh, she does have a book. That Tom didn't read the book. Ooh, guess nobody. Did anybody read to Erica Jane's book? Girl, you should have waited. You should have waited till after the divorce to write another book. Maybe you could write another book, girl. Because the way you're making it sound, people were scared of him. They didn't want to treat him because they didn't want to get sued by him. Girl, that's a mess. Would you have still been married if you know what you know? You know, he funded your career. You've always wanted to be a performer. If you knew what you knew now, if you knew that then, would you still have married him? And she says, I don't know who I married. I don't know who I'm married to. I don't know what the F happened. I'm overwhelmed, sad, and heartbroken. Do you feel like he loved you? She said, yes. And did you love him? She says, yes. And then she says, I think that you can see that I love him. I mean, I guess, girl. I mean, what does that look like? It looks different to everybody. That's why you can't really say stuff like that. I hope it's not true. It doesn't look good, but we need to get to the bottom of it. It's a one-sided story. Listen, it's a one-sided story from how many people? And all of their sides look the same and has the same pattern. Right? So don't tell me it's a one-sided story. There are many sides, but only one side. But there are many. That's what I don't understand. When all these people come out and say somebody did something to them, and then you're like, where all these people come from? It's only one side to the story. Okay, but all these people got the same side of the story in different times, on different parts of the country. You know, just like, girl, it's only one side of the story. I said, Erica, shut up. Shut up talking like that. That's what makes people think like, girl, how could you say that out of your mouth? Like, here's the thing. I'm not staying in protection mode of no motherfucking body who takes from vulnerable people. I'm sorry. I don't care. I don't care. The divorce, you got a divorce, you filed for a divorce. Why are you still sitting here talking about it's one side? It's one side. We got to get to the bottom of it. Girl, give me a fucking break. Girl, I feel terrible. I hope he didn't do that. I don't know that because I don't know that man. There are hidden parts of your partner and hidden parts of your marriage, and his career is over. He's 80 years old. He's in a memory care facility. I just turned 50 years old. I cannot let this ruin me. I need to survive this and this and this and that. Girl, I just keep thinking about these people that are trying to survive, right? They have had something traumatic happen to them. Yes, I know that divorce is a life-changing event. They make it a life-changing event on Facebook, right? You can put it on Facebook, life-changing event. I got a divorce. But if your parents are in a goddamn airplane crash and you live in what, Tibet or some shit, and you don't have any money to begin with, and the people were wrong, you get a wrongful death settlement, and somebody takes that money from you. It's like, okay, now I'm traumatized because my parents are dead. And now I'm traumatized again because I've been scammed from this old fucking white man in America. An American. Girl. And you worried about what? Oh, this is one side to every story. Shut up. What'd she say? I don't even want to hear what Erica got to say. That's why I'm feisty. Girl, shut the fuck up. Anyways, Crystal, they didn't say much to Crystal about her housekeeper. That was it. Dorit, they talked about her being long-winded. She said she's an easy target. And Andy was like, what do you mean? She was like, well, I give a lot of details and I am long-winded. Oh, okay. Because I'm not trying to say like, I think Andy was looking like, what are you talking about, girl? Because you're long-winded. As long as it's not in a malicious way. Andy was trying to swallow a yawn and she was like, am I boring you? They get on the conversation about the brown people comment, and she says she was raised with diversity. She's raising her kids the same way. The sentiment is the same. I just use the wrong words. And then, I think it went over your head when Garcelle said it's not brown people who work for you. And she was like, well, she has family and close friends. And she has a very diverse group of friends or whatever. And they were talking about how important the conversation was and how they're able to have those conversations and this and that. Yeah, because we're trying to figure out why weren't we able to have the conversation with Real Housewives of New York? Where's that reunion? Are we protecting people? Like, what's going on? Like, girl. Anyways, Kathy says, I learned something. It's good to learn something. She, they showed the clip of her talking about her and Michael Jackson saying they didn't see color or whatever. And she says, I think it's good to learn. I think, and all this other stuff. So whatever. It was a tough and uncomfortable conversation. I don't know what to say. I'm not shocked. I don't know what's this thing with trying to get people to have a diverse group of friends. If that's not their circle of friends, that's not their circle of friends. If they don't have black friends, if they don't have black friends, you can't get mad because they don't have black friends. I don't understand it. I don't get that part. The part that you sound crazy to read is by saying that only brown people work for you. But then to be like for her to be like, I have a diverse group of friends. If you don't, that's fine, girl. Nobody's expecting you to. Like, this is not a fucking corporate office. We're not looking for the diversity, quota in your friend group. Honestly, like literally, honestly. That's why it doesn't make sense to plop a token into a group where there's no real friendships like they did with Ebony. Because it doesn't make sense. If there's no diversity in the group, you can't make it. That's why I never understood the fuss about friends. Don't y'all have groups of friends where it's just y'all and everybody looks the same? Yes, for a lot of people do. A lot of people do not have diverse groups of friends. They don't. So I don't understand why she has to, it doesn't make sense to me. This is her friend group. That's why I never understood the fight about friends. Why is there no black people? They live in New York City. Okay, but that's their friend group. Do you have white people in your friend group? How many? Are y'all always together? Y'all always hang out? Okay. Do you have a Latino, a Latinx person in your friend group? You have a Jewish person in your friend group? Come on. Why there's no black girls on these shows? Because that's not, the friend group doesn't call for it. Y'all want to put these people in these crazy ass situations just to say, oh, there's a black person on there. And then they have to go through all that shit that Ebony went through last season. Nobody wants to go through that. We're here to be entertained. Not to see people be uncomfortable because they have to have these uncomfortable conversations because they're in a friend group of people that they wouldn't be friends with in real life. I'm just saying. Sorry. Dorit's nose is real. Amelia and Scott Disick. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. This is what I gathered from all of that. First of all, that Beyond Salem, when they showed a clip of Lisa Rinna saying Kim Richards' line, bitch, I didn't like that at all. You're so whack, Lisa Rinna. Why would you even... That's Kim Richards. I don't know. Like, I feel like you wish you would have delivered that line. You wish you would have something iconic that comes from this show, because you really don't. But own it. Just own it. Just own it. But we had to get the Beast line in there. Girl, whatever. Lisa Rinna, you can be moved to a friend, actually, because you're giving what Robin is giving on whatchamacallit. Absolutely nothing. We don't even have nothing to talk about at the reunion. We're talking about your daughter and Scott Disick. Anyways, she posted a picture of Harry Styles, not Harry Hamlin. Harry Styles, I guess that she wanted her daughter to be with Harry Styles or whatever. They started talking about him for a little while. Then they went to Harry Hamlin, talking about how he's the domestic one of the relationship. And she says that Harry Hamlin tells her that she's the smartest person that he knows, or that she's smart or something like that, which I love. I love that compliment. That's like that's the best compliment you could give me. Like, pretty and all that other stuff, like, whatever, great. You tell me I'm smart. I love compliments about how my brain functions. I don't care about nothing on the outside at all. I wouldn't approve. That's what what's her name said of Scott Disick. She's 18 years old. He's gross. Like, we already established that. Let me tell you something. When she said that Drake was following her, he's trying to get to Amelia too. That's what I said. It popped into my head. I said, that's why he's not following anybody else. She has something that he wants to get close to. So I'm going to follow you. And then you can be like, oh my God, Drake is following me. And then your daughter can be like, oh my God, Mom, say something to him. And then... yeah. That's... he was trying to get to the daughters. He's another wolf. He's another wolf. He's another wolf in captivity. That's it, really. They brought sauce. They talked about, Kyle and the sister, Kathy. Kathy really broke down about their mom. Like, she really broke down. Like, she was like sobbing. I was like, oh my God, like, does she need to go to therapy? Because their mom, I've never lost a parent, I don't know. I don't know if my mom and dad are still alive. I have no idea, but I'm sure somebody would have called me. I'm sure somebody would have called me by now. But what I'm saying is, they say that, you lose a parent, you really never get over it or whatever. So she was sobbing like she had just lost her mom last week. Their mother has been dead for a long time. And so that was pretty sad at the end. She was just sobbing, and Kyle was like saying, it's okay, and it's okay to cry too. And she's happy that we're together and this and that. She's very sensitive about her mother. So, you guys told me to watch it was something y'all told me to watch, or a podcast y'all told me to listen to about Kathy, the mother. Wasn't the mother's name Kathy too? I think the mother's name was Kathy. What was Kyle's mother's name? Anyways. So you guys, let me know what you think of the episode. I mean, I tried to get as much as I can in. I'm sorry I went on a tangent about, traditional. It just reminded me of Erika Jane and Tom, and that, like, she was 27 and he was 60. And then we're down here yesterday talking about this 18-year-old girl this man has groomed since she was younger, and he's 61 years old down there sticking his old worm dick in her. No, ma'am. And then her, like, really acting like it's something to be honored and something to be proud of. And it's just so disgusting and so sick. And it's like, why doesn't someone show her, like, a film. Like, this is going to happen to you. This is what's going to happen to you. I don't know. Somebody, I don't know. Anyways, the idea of someone, like, any person that wants to be in relationship with another person in an effort to just control the other person, that's sick. That's sick, and you need deep therapy. Because if that's the only way that you know how to relate to another person is to control them, that's a problem. And that goes for everything from your relationships to your friendships to your parent-child relationships. The only way you can be in relationship with a person is to be in control of them, something is wrong. Something is wrong, and there needs to be some evaluations happening on your brain and why you believe that way. There's too many people that just want to be in relationships with people just to be in control. I want to control. And you know what? It's across the board. It's across the board. I notice it everywhere. You notice it with parents. You notice it with siblings. You notice it with, co-workers. It's like you want somebody to do what you want them to do. But then when it comes time for you to do those things somehow, some way, you don't want anybody telling you what to do. But you want to be able to control someone else. You want tradition. I keep telling y'all, when you say tradition, tradition means, think about tradition. Think about traditional homes. Think about traditional homes that they were showing. Think about traditional homes that they were showing on TV. You had June Cleaver down the road, and then you had Florida Evans on the other road. The traditional household they were showing you. Where you had to be dependent on someone else. What the hell? They were protecting. Were they providing? Were they protecting? Girl, don't even get me started. That shit is crazy. Y'all be asking for crazy shit. I want a man to protect and provide. And what else? You got Marceau over there protecting and providing and giving nothing else. Nothing else. It's starting to sprinkle, y'all. I gotta go. All right, take care of each other. Protect your energy. Peace.